Commissar Angry Joe! We are under siege by the disgusting orc menace! Do not retreat! Hold your position! You call yourself Cadian!
Retreat!
You dare stop! In line, soldier! Faith in the Emperor!
Faith in the Emperor!
Faith in the Emperor!
Faith in the Emperor!
Faith in the Lord Emperor!
Faith in the Emperor!
Give me men, and I will show you order. Now, victory is ours to take.
No.
It is your duty to draw their fire.
But there's only one of me.
Exactly. You will charge when I give the order. Do not worry,
Doesn't-
for I will be behind you. Have
That doesn't make
confidence.
sense. No.
Ready?
Not at all.
Glory to the first man that dies.
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God.
What do you think you're doing, soldier? I have not given you leave to die, coward! Get back in there! Just put your hand like this! Prepare to charge! For the Emperor, charge! Oh! 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 Oh, not again! Oh! Attention, soldiers of the Angry Army. This is your Lord Commissar, Angry Joe. Warhammer 40,000 Gladius, Relics of War, and while it has a ridiculously long and unnecessary name, which may be heresy upon the Emperor, turns out to be a fantastic and addicting strategy game in the vein of the Hex-based Civilization series, only for our Warhammer 40k universe. It is great training. Okay, so I'm not gonna talk like that the whole time. And let me get this out of the way up front, okay? This is a small indie game. It is published by Slitherine, who makes some pretty solid strategy games. But to be perfectly honest with you up front, they don't always make the sweetest lookers, you know, in terms of graphics and animation quality. This isn't from a huge multi-billion-dollar publisher or even a massive development house like the aforementioned Civilization series. So at first, you are going to have to get used to the simplistic interface, the lack of introduction movie cinematics, and the desperately needed unit voices for your cool army units.
And occasionally you'll get this little text that floats above the units' heads. I hate it. It says, "I hunger for battle." I need those voices, man. You gotta put the voices in there. That was one of the best parts of Dawn of War.
Engaging the enemy.
You just give me
Attacking
that.
as orders
So
shall
much
stop.
better.
We will crush the enemies of the Imperials. Attack! Die, scum! Eat bolt gun! No prisoners!
Look at how much
For the
better it
glory
is with
of
that.
The Imperium. Take and hold.
But when you consider that this is made by a 3-man German development team in Proxy Studios, it's actually quite remarkable what they've made here, as 4X games are amongst the hardest games to develop for. Now, it bills itself as a 4X, which I absolutely love. This is my kind of game. Expand, explore, exploit, and exterminate. but it's really more of a 3x since there's no real diplomacy or full-fledged trade in the game, with the excuse that in the grim darkness of the future, there is only war!
Drive me closer! I want to hit them with my sword!
But honestly, in the lore, races have worked together before, if even temporarily. It would be nice to see a future update address this or add this, though you can definitely team up in online multiplayer, and that's where this game shines, in multiplayer. Now, the game doesn't have a ton of different win scenarios, okay? You can either win by going through quest lines for your appropriate faction, or dominating, which is appropriate for the license.
So we're both
And
kind of
they're
attacking them.
They're Necrons, not
They're
Necros.
necromancers. Look, they're right
They're
here.
not necromancers.
They are to me.
No, I didn't ask you to attack the Necros. If you see Necros, as you call them, don't attack them.
They're right here.
Don't attack them! Two big guys.
And then all these guys.
Oh shit, where did these come from?
From the bottom. I told you, they're in the
fuck you.
bottom.
Ah. Don't worry, I got your back. We're coming in.
They're coming after me now. Ah. Charlie, no.
Charlie.
They took out Charlie.
And what the game gets right is in its basic mechanics. You start with one base and a few troops, you build up your city, you acquire tiles around it, then build up your economy by putting buildings within those tiles, and then advance through the tech tree and pump out your various factions' unique units to exterminate your opponents.
Hit it! It's dead.
We got it! Woo! Faction defeated.
And it's great because each faction has their own playstyle with slight variations. Space Marines use like requisition points, but they only have one city. However, they can drop pod all over the map, making them very versatile. The Imperial Guard, the glorious Imperial Guard, not the Astra Militarum, I will not say that word. I guess I did say it, but Imperial Guard is better. They spam units and massive freaking tanks and cities to become a steamrolling force. The Necrons, they're limited to the tombs that they emerge from, but they're extremely powerful and they regenerate their bodies. And then, of course, there is the Orcs, the Warg for combat bonuses, and they're great close combat experts. It is a fun time exploring each of the unique things about the factions.
Okay, go
Oh,
look
shit.
at my Doomsday Arc. Tell me
Okay,
when you're
Doomsday
ready.
Arc, go.
Ready?
Fire!
Fire! How is that not dead? Come
It's not
on!
dead.
Double attack.
Ready?
Your
So
tanks have missiles?
watch their units by you. Yeah, look.
What the
What the fuck?
Camo netting, dozer blade. Which one is that?
They're called Hunter Killer missiles. It's a free attack from
Hunter
every tank
Killer.
I have.
And he's got 12 of those, guys. Wow, Imperial Guard. Look at them go.
However, with that smaller development team does come with its own set of challenges. I worry about faction balance and quality of life issues. In the late game, it's difficult to micromanage multiple cities with new automated governors. It's really gonna bloat those late term times. And some races, their advantages seem to be so much more powerful, like the Imperial Guard spamming cities right after the other. It's just no restriction or reduction in creating a new one, just non-stop benefits, because all of your resources increase across the board, whereas in other games it sucks, you know, some of those resources temporarily until you can get it back up to that level. But there's no limiting factor there. So I'm not really sure a one city Space Marine faction can compete late game with a 6-8 city Imperial Guard one. We're gonna have to find all that out in multiplayer over the next few weeks. But even so, I assure you, you will have fun finding out.
Stupid humans, building all these big things. just for us to smash 'em. We's not trapped here. They's trapped with us. Whoa!
Another thing is that seems to have been pushed out a bit too early, maybe a month or two, and they're still working on it through patches. There's some bugs and glitches. One in particular made the land disappear, and I was just in the ocean the whole time.
Okay, you're gonna host?
You know what's weird is it's just me. I'm the one with this problem. I don't know what's going on with the water here.
Maybe it had it. Did you try starting a new game?
Yeah.
Try starting a private game and see if that happens for you.
It just happened. That's what I just did. You guys have permanently broke my game. Look, even when I go into the fucking... What the fuck?
The water looks nice though.
And although it's pretty stable in single player, in multiplayer is where it gets kind of crashy.
No, he's dead.
And access violation. I just crashed. With the game logs in, save games.
No!
I saved. We can rehost.
And it's so frustrating because when you get back into the game to restart it, which is great because they have a good autosave system, everything has to match everything. You have to be the same faction, the same color, on the same team, and all these different things, or the game is going to freak out and crash. So there's some little quality of life issues that need to be fixed there, and the stability in multiplayer needs to be repaired. Another thing is the AI. I did several tests. I played this game so much because it is really addicting and fun just to see how good the AI is on Impossible. And at first I was able to smash the AI on Impossible, but I figured it out is that it was due to the wildlife density, which for some reason is oddly tied to the difficulty level. So what was happening is the wildlife was kicking the ass of the AI in addition to these wire weeds, which would limit the AI's movement and make them freak out. So if you want a game where the AI shines, and there is some really good AI here because we've seen it completely destroy other Joe.
Dude, I could have hit this city and killed all
I can't hold 10 more turns.
Isn't gonna destroy all this.
It's not even my base anymore. It's their base.
I don't know, it's the final thing in my...
No, my building has collapsed and I have crashed.
Then you're gonna wanna turn off or put to low the wildlife and the wire weed. Those two settings on low and then the AI itself on Impossible, you're gonna have a ton of fun and it's gonna be very, very difficult. You will get your ass kicked, trust me.
Okay, they're coming all in on the choke point. I guess they're pretty confident. We aren't gonna hold. Once this goes down, it's over, guys. But I'm happy for it because this was simply an AI test, testing the AI. And on impossible difficulty, if we remove all the variables, the AI is competent.
So with a few more patches, these things could be ironed out. I am also a little bit pissed off that the color selector, it's so standard and the colors are washed out here. Washed out blue, washed out pink, red. It just doesn't look very good. In a Warhammer 40K game, you need excellent color customization, okay? You need to be able to pick Space Marine chapters. You need to be able to do these certain things so it doesn't feel like it's just pasted on for the license. You understand? So that needs to be improved.
Wasps and scorpions are assaulting the pink
Oh
marines.
god, the bees!
No, not the bees.
Not the bees.
Fire on the bees, brothers!
But for as much as I'm hammering on the game, I do think that this three-man team with probably 100 times less the budget of Civilization has done one thing better than Civilization. It's not as deep in the late game, it's not as multi-path to victory, but it does get the early game really, really right, because there are so many hostile alien life on the planet. There's dogs, there's brain bugs, there's huge catachan devils, there's robots, there's massive things to encounter and a variety of creatures, and it's so fun attacking them and retreating and supporting your troops and fighting off the wildlife in Gladius.
I got more stuff coming.
Oh God, OJ!
Three, 4,
Retreat, you
5.
guys.
Oh my God,
Oh
more
my
dogs!
God!
Just run!
It's
Oh,
over! It's
Oh, there's
over!
more dogs on
Back to
the
your
left,
base.
on the left, on the right.
my God.
Other dogs
Then I got
being
these
mauled.
mechs coming over here.
The mechs
went too
won't
far
bother
out
you.
of your
Are you
seat.
sure?
They won't bother you.
Oh God, it's not looking
There's
so
more
good.
creatures coming.
Oh no!
Run that guy
Joe, I'll
away.
come and
Help
support
me!
you.
Somebody, Taco Bell!
I'm gonna
Help me,
come.
Taco Bell!
Tell him to
God
run.
damn!
Damn, Joe. All right, now we can order our units. So I'm coming over there, Joe. So the early game in this is much better than the early game in the Civilization games, in my opinion, where it's only just barbarians. Here, it feels really appropriate for the license, and that part is well done. My God. What the fuck is this? My own guys betrayed me.
What happened?
They're firing at me. I'm ambushed. It's an ambush. They're being controlled by those little mind bug dudes. The only way to stop them is to kill the mind bug. My army is obliterated. And that's pretty much it for Gladius. It is a fun time for fans, and that's why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 with a badass seal of approval if you're a 40K fan. Now, it just couldn't get any higher. In fact, it narrowly escapes a 6 due to its lower production values and some of the frustrating bugs I encountered. However, it has been patched up to 1.3, maybe 1.4 by now. Maybe it needs another week or two before it's ready for the mass audience, but it's just that multiplayer experience that keeps it at a 7 out of 10 because it is so much fun. Try to get this game with one other friend, play against the AI on Insane, play against each other, or go in public matches. It's a blast. All right, guys? Especially since the games are a little bit quicker, I think, than some of the other Civilization games. And I have no doubt that there is more coming, more factions. I would love to see Chaos, Eldar, Tyranids, Tau. We haven't seen them in a while. Oh, there's just so much potential here. And for a 3-man team, crap. You guys need to hire a few more people to get those factions to us sooner because I would totally pay for them and I'm ready for it. All right, guys? Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe show. And before anybody accuses me of being heartless towards the soldiers of the Imperium, let us give a moment of silence to those who gave their lives in the honor of the Emperor. Dismissed!
Okay, now slowly. Nope. Keep, like, as you're walking off, you're gonna be taking shots to go back to the commander. Ready? Oh, I, oh, oh, hey, oh. Okay, ready? And come back. The Imperial Guard know how to die. It's not the Astra Militara. Fuck their name. Imperial Guard, damn it. Commissar. Yes, Commissar. God wills it.
Oh shit!
Advance for the Emperor. God wills it. I can't make it work.